So honestly, if you're facing low numbers, step back, kind of reanalyze yourself. Why are you doing this? You know, you want to have fun, just have fun. Screw the numbers. You know, a lot of my regulars, they're gone. But one thing you learn about Twitch is consistently inconsistent. You know, you can't expect everyone on Twitch to be there for you all the time, every single day. That's just unrealistic, you know? So as much as you like them to be, they won't be, you know? You just gotta just keep on growing, keep on building, build, grow. Whether it's fast or slow, just keep on doing it, you know?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Stream Key Podcast. We're coming to you on a Tuesday because yesterday was the charity stream and Veterans Day, so we're one day behind this week, but this is a big show because we are giving away a Nintendo Switch at the end, two actually, at the end of today's stream for the charity event, so that's going to be at the end, so stick around for that. But this is our weekly show where we help you level up on Twitch, make sure YouTube, Facebook, and whatever other multiple streaming platforms come out in the next year. I'm GreenChord, the media marketing director for TRUgaming, and we have three special guests coming back with us this week who've all been on the show before. First of all is DonTranX coming back for third time, I think. Don, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. How you doing today, man?
Good, dude. How are you guys doing? How was the charity stream? Did it all go well? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we ended up with 2470 raised, which is awesome. Third year supporting Stiggies, which is really cool. Yeah, thanks for being back on again, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, also MPI coming back, Mr. Pure Instinct. How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Doing pretty well. You were doing the charity stream as well this weekend.
Yeah, I did Friday afternoon.
Awesome. And did you do your incentives and things? I didn't get to see the full shift. But...
Yeah, I didn't do the big foam heads this time because those were a mistake. I could not breathe, but I did the Halloween masks and the in-game disadvantages.
Mm-hmm.
We had one where I had to turn my monitor upside down.
I saw that.
So that was awful. I died almost immediately.
Well, thank you for doing that for charity. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Last but not least is Veloc_TV. How's it going, Vel?
It's going very well, man. How about you?
Pretty good. I'm still waking up a little bit here, but I'm excited for today's show because there's a lot of news. Really quickly, can we just go around again and just give a quick snapshot of what everybody streams? Throw it to Vel first, actually.
Multiplayer first-person shooter games like Call of Duty and Siege and stuff.
Cool. And how long on Twitch?
3.5-ish years now, something like that.
Yep.
Way too long.
Why am I still here? Don, I'm gonna give you a snapshot.
A lot of FPS games as well. Siege, Call of Duty, and recently just doing a whole lot of just chatting because don't know why.
Gotcha. And earlier this year, you came on Twitch, right?
Yeah, I started streaming in January of this year. It's been fun.
Awesome. MPI, your little snapshot as well?
So I branch out a little bit more. I would say I'm a variety streamer. I do play some first-person shooters like Destiny, but we do a lot of story-based games, whether it's adventure, shooter. It's something like Telltale's games where it's basically a movie that we press a button in every now and then. Anything with a story that we can follow, I want to play it.
Gotcha. Awesome. I just like to kind of refresh that each week so people can ask questions that are appropriate based on what you guys stream, and for people who haven't seen the show in a little bit, as a recap. So again, if you've not seen the show before, the way this works is the first 20-30 minutes, probably closer to 30 this week, we're going to talk the streaming news, and there's a lot this week. Some big moves were made. And then the last hour and a half of the show will be calls with you guys. So you can call in the show. It was all calls last week, which was awesome. And you get priority as a caller to come on and ask your question related to the news or your own streaming, whatever you want to talk about. You can do that in Discord, or if you can't get to Discord, you can just @TRUgaming to ask your own questions, and we'll still bring them up. We have a lot of offline questions that we're going to try to get to this week, so stick around for that. But let's jump into the news first of all, which is a move. The biggest move is Courage moved to YouTube, which is pretty interesting. So we've covered Ninja and Shroud both went to Mixer, which you guys should know. But last week, CourageJD announced the move to YouTube, which is interesting because that's the first signing by YouTube in this little stream battle. So Google and YouTube are kind of entering the streamer wars that are starting to develop. Some interesting stuff about this. So in terms of why he moved, he talked a lot about having more freedom of content. He makes a lot of videos that don't fit into like a live streaming space. So that was a big factor, as well as moving away from like the sub count number on Twitch and being so tied down to that. But what's also interesting is the talent agency that represents Courage also represents Shroud and Ninja. It's called Loaded. And they also represent streamers like Lyric, Tim the Tapman, and Summit1G. And there was a tweet that came out from Slasher, who's a pretty reputable kind of leaker in this space, saying that everyone else in Loaded's agency is looking at negotiating contracts like this, moving to another platform or staying on Twitch, kind of like Nick Merckx that we talked about. So obviously it's a big deal. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this move and maybe how YouTube is an interesting change from what we're used to, and if maybe YouTube has some different benefits than Mixer. I'll kick this off to Vel first. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I think, especially because YouTube has stated that they're going to be investing a lot of money into live streaming in 2020. I think that YouTube is going to be making way bigger moves than Mixer, not in just like purchasing streamers or anything, but I think in establishing and like creating a really, really not verified, but a really like polished streaming platform. I think they're going to do really good things. Like they, I mean, obviously Google owns YouTube, and so they have the funding to make something really special there. And with something that's integrated directly into, making YouTube videos and everything like that, like that's going to be awesome for anybody who makes content, because it's not just streaming that you need to worry about. And so if you can do everything on the same platform, that just makes it easy all around for everybody. I think it's really cool that Courage moved over there. I think it's awesome. I don't really watch him too much. He plays a lot of Fortnite, which I don't really care for. But he is a good content creator, obviously, or else they wouldn't have picked him up in the first place. But it's good for him. It's good for streaming in general.
Right. And actually, you mentioned something there that I want to cover as well. I put a tweet in the chat, guys, from, I think it's YouTube's like live services marketer. I don't know exactly.
He's the head of YouTube gaming.
Okay.
Fwiz.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Fwiz.
Yeah, Fwiz. So he tweeted
Fwiz,
out,
gotcha.
which is what Vel was talking about, that they will be putting a lot of effort into the live streaming side of YouTube this coming year. And this sort of seems like the first of many big moves, is kind of what he was alluding to. So that tweet's there if you want to check that out. But that's what Vel was talking about. Don, do you have thoughts on this move?
Yeah, I've been following CourageJD for years and years and years now, when he was doing podcasting, and he moved to Optic and then all that. So I'm actually a huge fan of Courage. I think his content is actually really, really good. He plays Fortnite, a lot of Fortnite. Unfortunately, I watch a lot of Fortnite as well. But he's a great content creator, and I think this is a really good move for YouTube. And what Vel said is true. I think YouTube they have the experience, they have the knowledge. They already have this YouTube platform thing. They have logistics. I think they're actually going to be, they have more experience than Mixer, In terms of backing, I don't think that really matters too much. They both, Microsoft and Google, have so much money, they can do whatever they want,
Right.
But I think they have the know-how to really compete with Twitch. I was actually shocked at this news, because when I think the last move was Shroud to Mixer, and after that everyone was like, yo, Tim the Tapman, Pokimane, they're all gonna go to Mixer. No one spoke anything about YouTube or CourageJD. So when they announced this, I was kind of caught off guard. But huge fan of him. Fwiz also, he used to be a part of Optic as well. And I don't know if this Fwiz and Courage Optic relationship had something to do with him going to YouTube or whatnot. But I also have been following a lot of Fwiz. Anyone Optic really, I've been following. But if I were to make a move, YouTube seems like a really good platform. Yes, they're probably third or fourth or whatever in terms of like popularity streaming wise, but I think in the near future that will change. I think they will overcome Mixer, and then who knows if they'll overcome Twitch or not, but that's too far forward. But that's my opinion. YouTube, great platform.
I want to say they're second in streaming.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. Even though like we talked a lot more about with Mixer and Facebook, YouTube just has such a sheer volume of people on it already that I want to say it's second. We can maybe find some stats and stuff on that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. MPI, do you have thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think kind of what Don said, Fwiz and Courage have had a connection for years. They go back to MLG Call of Duty days. So that could have a little bit of a factor in it. Maybe he has more faith in Fwiz, and he's like, man, I know this guy. I know he works hard, and I know that he wants this to succeed. And it could also be that Fwiz said, hey, throw a little bit more money that guy's way. I know that guy. I know I can trust him. Like they're all friends. Like they hang out all the time. So And I like
So-
I like that YouTube is getting in that mix. The more competition, the better, because Twitch, they get too stagnant. They can just do whatever they want and get away with it, and it won't matter. But when Mixer came in, and now YouTube comes in, and they're actually starting to compete, especially with these big dogs that really bring in money for them, they're gonna have to start looking at it and say, well, what can we do better to keep people here or to draw people here from these other platforms? So I like that YouTube's getting into it, and I hope YouTube does something big with streaming next year, because I think they have a lot of potential for it, especially with gaming content, because so many people do let's play videos or highlight videos and say, okay, we'll go check it on my YouTube channel, and then once you're done with that, come back to my Twitch channel, versus you're done with that, okay, we'll just scroll down and you're still watching my live stream. Everything in one place would be so helpful for content creators. So I think that could be huge.
Sure.
I just Googled to see like what the top live streaming platforms are, and YouTube is the second. And so that's crazy because like we really don't hear much about YouTube at all. Like it's mostly Facebook, Mixer, even D Live is on there for like the most talked about, aside from Twitch, obviously. So for them to be as quiet as they are and still be in the second place, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So the fact that they plan on making some big moves, like if they do things right, they could definitely, pass over Twitch if they really like made the right moves, which is kind of scary because like Twitch has been the number one for so long and everything else has been like,
yeah,
whatever. like it's competition, but it's meh, you know what I mean? But like with YouTube gaming, like if they're making big moves already, like that's insane.
Yeah, you can see Vince pulled up the graphic here
Exactly,
actually.
yeah.
Of the
And that's
breakdowns.
nuts. That's crazy. And they've been dead silent on everything.
And
like
actually,
they lost Nick A30 and then there's been nothing.
Right. What's interesting too is some big events YouTube is already actually outperforming Twitch on. So if you guys are fans of League, the World Finals have been happening over the last month, and the finals were literally 2 days ago. There are actually more people watching on YouTube than on Twitch for most of those events. And I think that trend is true of many esports events. So while you might not have as many huge content creators on YouTube, and you might, honestly, I don't know as much, I think they've already started making some headway and becoming like the number one platform for some of that stuff. Just because, again, YouTube's been around forever and it's such a huge audience of people watching there. So actually interesting too with like esport events in particular, a lot of times the viewing experience is actually better on YouTube than on Twitch in terms of higher quality and lower latency, lower buffering. Yeah, so a lot of people prefer to watch it on YouTube than Twitch.
Yeah, that's why it's so natural for YouTube to move in this space. They I feel like they have, they may not have the logistics totally set out, but they are probably far in advance further than, Mixer starting out or any other company starting out. They kind of have like, a foot up on the competition,
Yeah. So also I think that point, talking about the management, is there anything you guys want to touch on with that? Because I mean, those are big names that are under that same account,
right?
Of Loaded, being Lyric, Tim, and Summit. Do you think we'll see them move anywhere or maybe get locked down contracts with Twitch?
There's been hints about Tim the Tatman going somewhere or doing something, but like you can never, like Tim might just be trolling or whatever. You never know with him. So like, I mean, obviously all those streamers are either going to be getting locked down or they're going to move somewhere. Like it's not going to stay the same because that's just the way that streaming is going now, especially with the top tier content creators. They need to be able to lock people in. I think that's huge and it's very, very exciting. Like no matter where they all go, even if Tim the Tatman goes to D Live, I'll probably still watch him every once in a while. You know what I mean? Not that that's gonna happen. Like see what happened with PewDiePie. You know what I mean? Like we really talked about D Live.
Well, you're not Tim Tatman?
What? Hold up. What?
You're not Tim?
But yeah, it's really, really exciting stuff. Really exciting. I can't wait to see like where they all go and what happens to all of them.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we see more on YouTube too, and it really starts to snowball like that.
YouTube's looking pretty spicy right now. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. I agree.
Yep.
All right, so let's transition that into more YouTube stuff while we're talking about it. So on the not so good side of YouTube things, I think we should talk about this. So over the last week, pretty big YouTuber Markiplier did a live stream where basically viewers could control what was happening on the stream. So they could vote, go right, go left, and then whatever they vote for, the streamer would do that. So he asked emotes to be spammed to control that, spam right if you want me to go right. And what happened is a lot of people got banned, not just from YouTube, but from their entire Google account. It got suspended. So that meant that not only could you not use your YouTube account on YouTube to watch videos, upload stuff, whatever, you couldn't even log into your Gmail or anything that used a Google account.
What?
So this is a big issue. I'll post the link to it to the discussion if you want to check it out. Since then, there were some interesting things. So YouTube did have a direct response on Twitter. Someone, messaged YouTube, Team YouTube, saying, "Hey, I'm locked out of my account. I've appealed it and it got denied." And YouTube said, "Sorry, we can't do anything. That's it." Now, since that was, I think, Saturday, it looks like this morning people are starting to get their accounts back, but it's kind of it's a slow process that's happening. But it's kind of a scary thing just to think about this,
Yeah.
that spamming emotes in a live stream could get you banned from your email in like this huge, I don't know what you call it, like dark future type thing.
There's no way that's working as intended. Is it?
I mean, you would think not, but until this morning, it looked like YouTube wasn't responding, and Markiplier made a whole YouTube video about it and how he wasn't really getting a response from YouTube about it. So I guess they're starting to respond to it now, but
wow, my entire chat would be banned like instantly, like first day.
So Vince pulled up a tweet here as well I didn't actually see that says, from YouTube, "Hi Mark, apologies this happened, and that's thanks for bringing it to our attention. The accounts have been reinstated and we're looking into why the appeals were denied and how we can prevent this in the future." So it sounds like it's a bug, right? That shouldn't be happening. But I still think it's interesting to talk about the ramifications, because everything is still linked. So they could do this at any time. And this applies. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And they've had like multiple issues with like, demonetization, all that stuff. So like this is just another thing that's just like, not so spicy anymore,
not another YouTube thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But also a lot of other streaming platforms are like this, right? Like Vince was saying before the show started, imagine if you were spamming emotes in Twitch in chat, and then you got locked out of your Amazon account or things, or you're on Facebook in a live stream and then you lose access to all your Facebook integration accounts and everything. Like, it's kind of huge if you think about that. So, you guys have any thoughts on this to add?
I mean, I hope this is, if that's working as intended, I hope they fix it, or everyone on YouTube is going to be making a separate account for all their, just for streaming. I mean, if I got locked on my Gmail account, I would not have access to a lot of my businesses that I run, and I'd be pissed for a week. I couldn't do anything. So I can't imagine they keep it like this if it is working as intended. I think once it gets more popular, or they start getting like gigantic streamers on there where they, sometimes you don't see a problem until it happens, so they'll probably, fix things on the fly as things happen, but that's crazy. I didn't know that's what happened. I'd be kind of pissed off.
Right.
Yeah, YouTube is gonna have to invest in some new people working in moderation. Like they have the money to do it, obviously, and they've had like issues for so long now that it's like Twitch has it bad because it's all happened so like close to one another. But like with YouTube, it's just been like years and years of like things happening that people like really don't agree with, that has pulled people away from making content over there. And it, like this continues to be a thing, and they don't actually start addressing this in a serious way. Like that's like they're going to hurt their own platform even more than they ever have. Yeah. Especially right now with all the people looking to switch to different platforms and everything. Like if YouTube's not in the question yet, and like they don't change anything, that's not good for them at all.
Right.
At all. Like that's like they really need to like take this seriously, because bad moderation ruins the entire vibe of the entire community on that platform.
Because they're representative of the community.
And I don't see how it's something this big with Markiplier, because what he was doing was a show that he made with YouTube. YouTube produced this production, and how did they not have people there or have this set up to where they could do whatever they wanted? Like, where was the missed communication there? Because they had to be involved in it.
Yeah, Andy in the chat asked, aren't the appeals reviewed by people not automated? Yes. So I think the banning was automated, but the appeal system, someone checks that, right? So those people were getting denied their appeals manually by somebody. So that's an issue as well. That I guess
we can't do anything.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to look into, I guess. But, yikes,
frustrating.
Yeah, so that was interesting. The last piece of big news I want to talk about this week is so it's more of like a gaming thing, but there is a streaming spin on it that's been coming out. So Fortnite player content creator Faze Jarvis got banned permanently from Fortnite because he used aimbot in solo battlegrounds. I don't know Fortnite very well. In solo squads or whatever. I made a YouTube video about it. So he got banned permanently because of Epic's zero tolerance policy.
Yeah.
And since then, there's been some discussions about like whether the ban was fair, just in terms of, you know, as someone who plays Fortnite, should you get permanently banned for doing this? But then B, kind of the spin on content creators. Like, should Epic factor in the fact that he was creating YouTube videos and publicity for the company and, you know, take a lighter stance on him because of that? So on that topic, there's a couple comments I want to talk about. First is from Ninja, and this is a direct quote. He was talking about it on his stream. He said, "Let's be realistic here. Without your content creators, it's a negative impact on your game. Saying that you shouldn't have favoritism for content creators is a little silly," which is interesting. And then Dr. Disrespect, said Jarvis should get a temporary ban. He used hacks not for competition, but for content for his YouTube channel to show something. This in comparison to guys who used hacks during a 30 million tournament and only got banned for 2 weeks. So these are two guys who are kind of arguing, you know, they should kind of take into account the context of what was happening and maybe his content and what he's done for the community as well. So I'm going to throw this at you guys as content creators. What do you think about Epic's decision and then the comments of people like Ninja and Doc? Vel, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I mean, we all know, like, especially like us, like lower level streamers, like we don't really toe the line with TOS or anything that could get us removed from what we do full time. And obviously he did exactly that. He did something that should have gotten him in trouble in some way, whether it was a permanent like full ban or temporary or whatever. He still did that thing, and he knows exactly what he did. He knew it was wrong at the time. Like, you don't just install aimbot just, you know, and then like, oh well, nothing's gonna happen. Like, you like
Right.
Clearly as soon as you're doing it, you're like, I might get in trouble for this. Like, I don't know if it should be permanent, but I definitely think it should be a long suspension or a long ban. Doing a totally permanent ban is, I feel like that's a little aggressive, you know, like maybe like do it for like 6 months or whatever. And then just keep them under like a microscope after that. You know what I mean? Because like you did this, like, and that's very wrong. You're a content creator. A lot of people look up to you. So they think that you can get away with this, then they're just going to do it themselves. I don't think he should get treated with any sort of like praise or whatever just because he does make content for them, because it's not like Fortnite's doing bad, you know, like they have all the content creators they need, and if someone does get banned, there's just another one to take that spot. It's not like they're hurting for that or anything, but I do feel like he should get punished. I don't think it should be permanent.
Gotcha. Don, what do you think?
Yeah, so I agree. I would rather, I would have liked to see like a temp ban, you know. Although I can see Epic side, you know, they're all about the zero tolerance thing, you know, and if he does it, you know, is it okay for everyone else to do it, you know? Yeah, he's using cheats or whatever to create content, right? And then is that encouraging other kids to also use cheats to create content on their own channel or whatever, use cheats just for fun, or, you know, is he educating kids on how to cheat or what cheats to use? I don't really know, you know, but I can see how Epic takes this zero stance, you know, I mean, zero tolerance policy. But I don't know if it was his first offense. It might have been his first offense. I'm not sure if it was. I think a little slap on the wrist was probably what I would have done, but I'm not Epic, you know, and I can see how from their side they don't want this to become like to spread like wildfire, you know. So right. I can kind of get that, you know. But I would have done a temp ban, but I can see from their side how they take this a little more serious, especially since he has so much clout or whatnot. You know, a lot of eyes are on his channel. You know, if he does it, hey, other kids are like, can I do this too? Should I do this too for fun, just for kicks, for laughs? You know, and then that's kind of, I can see why they'd want to perm ban him.
Right. Gotcha. MPI, I know you had some thoughts to share on this too.
Oh, I have some thoughts. So I don't know Epic's TOS around this, but if their TOS is there's a zero tolerance policy for using things like this, then you broke the rules. Sorry about you, bud. But the biggest thing that I took with this and that I kind of have a problem with is what Ninja said, that he thinks just because the dude's a big time content creator, I've never heard of him, he can't be that big, that he should get special treatment is ridiculous. No, he shouldn't.
Right.
If anything, he should be held to a higher standard because he has so many eyes on him, and especially with a game like Fortnite that's mostly at this point played by a younger crowd, a little bit more impressionable. They're going to see this big guy that they look up to using these, these aimbots and things and say, well, I can do that. He did it. I can do it. That'll be fun. So if anything, he should be held to a higher standard. And something else Ninja said in that is, well, now he's lost his ability to make money. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There's other video games, dude. If that's your biggest thing is you have to play games for a living, go play another game. There's Apex. It's a battle royale. There's even back to PUBG. That's a battle royale. Like, you can't say that Fortnite is going to take away this entire guy's career. It's not going to happen.
So, like, to play devil's advocate a little bit here, I kind of agree with this, but I want to entertain the opposite view here. Do you think, like, as a game company, some of your big content creators obviously generate a lot of attention for your game, right? So you think of like Ninja, what he did for Fortnite, or, there's an interesting example with League of Legends. You used to have a huge content creator called Donkey who kind of fell into the same issue and got banned from the game. Do you think you're going to take a hit by banning that person, right? If they can't make content for your game anymore, do you think companies should kind of factor that in and maybe make an exception for that person if they've really done a lot for the game, or is it something that they kind of have to stay standard with?
So you said League of Legends lost a huge content creator, right?
Yep.
How are they doing since then?
He's actually done really well since then.
No, how is League of Legends doing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they don't need the content creators. There's always that other one that can step up because there's always somebody that's competing to be in that top spot. Like it's not about like that kind of, I don't know. It's not like they're hurting for content creators. Like none of these big games are hurting for top tier streamers to play their game and bring attention to them. So like you can see that with League of Legends losing a really top tier content creator for their game, like they're still doing really, really well on Twitch and everywhere else, obviously.
Gotcha. And
So,
go ahead.
I don't see Fortnite losing one streamer and then Fortnite immediately not existing anymore. One person who broke your rules and going away isn't going to change how big your game is. I mean, maybe it'll make it so these big guys make a little bit less content around it, but they're not paying you to make content around it. If anything, they have their creator code or whatever they call it for Epic that you're paying them.
Gotcha.
So I don't think holding people to a higher standard, or if just at least to the same standard that you would the guy with 5 viewers versus 5 million viewers, is going to hurt your game. If it does, that says more about your game than anything. Make a better game.
Gotcha. Don, do you have thoughts to add there?
Yeah, I have a thought. I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you. From a business standpoint. From a business standpoint, let's say Ninja did something bad, right? And this, of course, is the biggest one. So we're going super extreme. Ninja breaks a rule, and then he breaks the same rule. And then if they permanent ban him, that's gonna take a hit on your game. Now, is it gonna make Fortnite irrelevant? No. But what it will do is ultimately it might decrease your margin a little bit, right? And then when it comes to business from Epic's standpoint, it's all about margin. Can you squeeze this extra % out? And if you ban Fortnite, you ban Ninja and you lose 1%, that's actually a lot. It's all about trying to increase your margin, because when it comes to business, margins are super, super hard to come by, and I can understand if I was running Epic and Ninja did something bad and it was in terms of like, should we ban him permanently or temporarily? I would just go with temporarily. That's me though. From a business standpoint, I would not want to permanent ban him. But that's just me. It's all about money sometimes, especially with these large gaming companies. So
one example I want to give, you guys probably are familiar with Tyler One from League of Legends as well. He was another content creator who was permanently banned from the game. He got to the point where if he was streaming the game at all, he would be banned on the spot. They would ban him during the stream, so he could not play it. And that lasted for a couple of years. And eventually, Riot decided to unban him, which was pretty unprecedented. And since then, he's gone on to be the #1 content creator for League. It's not even close. It's like he's twice as many viewers as anybody else. And he's been a big source of revenue for them. So that's like an example of a way that a company might factor that in, and it does make a difference. Now, to be clear, I'm on the other camp. I think you should have, your enforcement should be standard across the board. You should not treat content creators with favoritism, even though, if you're talking from a business standpoint, it makes sense. Like maybe you lose a little bit of market share for taking that stance. I think long term, the integrity is much more important than like trying to capitalize on that short term attention. But I think it's interesting to talk about the other side and see kind of the viewpoint that these streamers and businesses have when they're in those big sides.
So question for you, Green.
Yep.
Let's say Ninja does the same thing as, what's that guy's name? Jarvis does? Would you permaban him if you were Epic?
Well, so here's the thing. I think there's two questions here. One is the punishment system Epic has. So the problem that I think is really here is they have different punishments for the same issue, right? Doc talked about these two people that were in a tournament that only got a 2-week ban for aimbotting, and then Jarvis got a permanent ban for aimbotting. So why are there two disparate punishments for the same offense? And so that's where I think they just need to set the standard to always have the same response to the same action. So if this is their stance, if it's always going to be a permaban, then I would say yes, that question. They should permaban Ninja. But ideally, I would think, like you said earlier, there should be a better system of maybe like a slap on the wrist and then progressively more nuanced ban. Does that make sense?
First offense and whatnot,
Yeah, exactly. So like it's not that what the ban is that matters to me, it's that it's being enforced uniformly across the board. Cool. Anybody else have last thoughts on this topic or in the chat? Maybe anything, Saul? No.
Don't accept a call from T Lemon. That's the only thought that I have right now. Please.
All right. Let's move on to a couple small things before we jump into calls here. So some small updates. Twitch is running paid ads on Reddit, which is cool. I always like to talk about that because it's more viewers coming to the platform, which is good. This was interesting. So I think Vel showed me this. iOS tokens allow viewers to sub many months in advance.
Yep.
Which is pretty
cool.
cool.
Like I have a viewer who's subbed up until February now, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that this was a thing, but basically you can buy the tokens and you can just subscribe for as many months as you want up to, I think, a year, which is pretty sweet. I think it's only on iPhone though, because I think it's only using those tokens.
Right. I put the link in the chat if you guys want to see the picture of it. Basically, you can just buy the tokens en masse and then spend them up to whenever you want to within a year or so.
Yeah. I didn't know this was a thing until I saw it. I was in Vel's stream when that happened, and someone subscribed to like February or something. I was like, "What? This is a thing? How do you do this?" I had no idea that actually you could do it.
Right. Pretty cool. There was kind of an interesting one that I didn't think warranted a whole discussion, but some people brought this up. Streamer Dan's Gaming had an emote removed for sexual content, even though it looked like there was nothing sexual at all with the emote. I'll post that if you guys want to check it out. Then you guys have strong feelings about this one, because I know some people thought this was really weird. Or maybe the new Dan's Gaming more specifically? No.
I mean, looking at the emote, it doesn't look like it's what I would call sexual in nature, but I mean,
it's naked.
It has a naked thing on it. So I can maybe see Twitch kind of being like, you're kind of skirting the line there a little bit.
Yeah.
And just kind of saying, we're just not going to take any chances on things like this.
Right.
Yeah, they might be trying to get more strict with their emotes and everything, and this could just be, one of the first ones that it happens to, and it's unfortunate for him. But maybe they're just trying to clean up a little bit, because like Mixer's going more family friendly for sure. I don't think Twitch is necessarily going to step up to that, like to that level, but I think that they might be trying to, professionalize things a little bit more.
I actually kind of do agree with that. Glass in the chat. The nose is a little suggestive, but other than that, I mean,
it's nose with the eyes and everything. I can kind of see it.
It's a moderation thing. I mean, again, I didn't think this warranted a whole discussion because it's just an emote, but whatever.
I'd be curious to see if it starts to happen with more things similar to this, or if it was just like a one-time thing with him that. Hopefully, if it's something they're wanting to do, it's something that continues, and this guy didn't just get the short end of the stick,
Right. Yep. Makes sense. You can now thank or gift subs after being gifted a sub via chat command. This is a little confusing to explain. So after you've been given a sub on Twitch, they have a new feature where you can thank the person who gave you the sub, or you can gift someone else a sub. So kind of like a sub gifting chain, if you want to. It's just a little new feature Twitch rolled out. Just wanted to mention that. And we also forgot to cover that the leaderboards show top gifters gifters and bit givers. So not just bits, but also gifts, which is cool. Also, I forgot to mention, Vel, you showed me something with the point system too, right? Do you want to talk about that?
How you can time people out in your like
Yeah.
not even in your own channel. So like if I'm watching somebody and I have a certain amount of points, I can time some random viewer out if I want to for like 2,000 points or something, which could be funny, but it could also be super, super irritating to somebody. Like if you want to be a troll, that's a really good thing to do to like totally ruin somebody's day.
Right.
Like they could just want to be in that chat, just talking, hanging out, having fun, and like you could just totally ruin their day. That being said, it is kind of funny if you do it to like a friend or something like that. Like if I saw Donata into the Tatman's chat and I could time him out, I'm 100% gonna do that. Absolutely. But
well, yeah, I think it could be good. Actually, I heard people talking about when this poll came out, this is a feature they wanted to have in the poll. Maybe it's like some, huge goal that would take you weeks to save up for or something, and you can use it once.
And then it should be like maybe like a minute or two. It shouldn't be anything crazy. Like, but yeah, it should definitely be like a huge, like it should be like 100,000 points. That way, like it's a dedicated viewer, not just somebody who just happened to hop in and just wants to spend a quick 200 points.
Right.
It just ruins somebody's day. Because like that, like people will do that 100%. I don't know how much it costs. I don't remember, but it could be good and bad.
Right. Alphon also mentioned that apparently Twitch is working on an API that'll let points interact with extensions, which is kind of cool. So developers can build stuff around the point system. That's pretty cool.
I like that a lot better than timing people out.
Yeah.
Because I think can you turn those things on and off? Like if you have the channel points, can you turn off where someone could do that?
I think so. I think you can edit like the things that are allowed.
They can do, yeah.
Okay.
You can customize.
You can modify stuff.
Because I would definitely turn that off.
Spartan said he'd time himself out. Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah,
It'd be cool if you could time it out to just where you can't see it. Like if you come into, it's like there's one person that you're like, man, I really don't like what this guy's saying.
Actually, you can do that
I think, you can block people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I just want to do it with the points for a little while. There's like a discussion comes up where I'm like, I really don't like this guy's point, and I'm trying to have fun and not deal with this.
And that way
normally, normally the guy's a good guy, but right now I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else in the news that you guys saw that we didn't cover, or last thoughts on this stuff before we jump into calls? Nope. Cool.
I don't think so.
All right. So guys, calls are open right now. If you want to jump into the show, I think we have one waiting right now. So I'll post a link in the chat. What you want to do is follow that link and jump into the voice chat. And then you're going to need to accept my friend request. Once you jump in there, we'll bring you on the show. Callers get a priority. We had all callers last week. So if you want to be on the show, calling is the way to do it. If you can't get to the Discord, you can still @TRUgaming with your questions. And we actually have some offline questions that we're going to go through first this week. So if you want to get your offline questions in, make sure you ask those now in chat because there's a big queue. So, but let's get Savage Voice on the show first, who's been on the past 2 weeks, I think. And hopefully we can maybe have his volume down a little bit before he comes in the show because he's always a little bit loud. We'll see. We're ringing right now. See if he'll pick up. Perhaps. Savage?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Thanks for calling back in. What do you want to chat about this week?
I have two questions. One, what with YouTube, making the move that they're making and obviously holding the spot that they do have, which is right behind Twitch. What do you think Twitch can or will try to do to close that gap, being that Twitch, as I said before, they have the video aspect, and my personal opinion, I think that the smart thing to do would be to try to, like Velok said, have everything all in one spot. I don't know if it is, but I would think it'd be easier to make here we have videos, come find them, versus here streaming content, let's make it all work properly. I think they would have the easier chance of converting the two. But, I'm just a normal person who doesn't know all that stuff. So what do you think Twitch can or should do?
Gotcha. Okay. I don't want to take this one. Go ahead, Val.
I don't think that YouTube is right behind Twitch. Like based on that pie chart, they're still like they are the the largest competition that they have for sure. But Twitch still holds a huge percent. I think it was like 70-something%, I think is what it said. I might be wrong. So it's not like they're like sweating, you know what I mean? Like they do have some things to worry about, but I don't think that they're like freaking out or anything. But I think Twitch already had something like Premiere or whatever that was kind of like YouTube, right? Where they did like recorded stuff that nobody really used. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if they would even try to even do that again, to be honest, because like they announced it pretty well. I feel like a lot of people even knew about it, but it's just not something that people were interested in doing because it's not an established platform like YouTube. Like it's hard enough to get discoverability on Twitch, but then to get like a less known thing on Twitch that like you need to put more time into, I don't think it would really make sense. Like they would I don't know if it would really work for them to do anything quite like that. I don't know. I guess they would have to step up other things as opposed to doing recorded content like YouTube does.
Gotcha. MPI, you have thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like Veli said, they've tried to do this a couple times, I think now, with premieres, and then you have VODs, obviously. And I mean, VODs get used a little bit more, maybe, but not a lot. And then premieres are going away, aren't they? Or they already did, one of the two. They're like within this month. So I think Twitch would need to focus more on improving the live aspect of it, getting it down to like Mixer, where there's that minimal lag. It's what, like 1 millisecond or something between the stream and the streamer seeing it. And I think they could also pick up on the thing that we've talked about many times, and that is holding everyone to the same standards with TOS. Because you might keep a lot of the big guys, but you're going to start losing more and more of the small people when Dr. Disrespect can go film in a bathroom, and that's okay. But one guy, falls out of his chair one time with a beer in his hand, and he gets kicked off, even though that's the first sip he's taken out of the beer. I think if they can do things like that and start focusing more on keeping the streamers happy to keep them here, they'll be able to keep their viewers, because people will want to stay to watch those people.
Gotcha. Don, you have thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I really can't predict what Twitch can do, what they're going to be doing. I think what they'll do is they're probably not just looking at YouTube. They're looking at every streaming platform. YouTube, Mixer probably being the biggest threats. Seeing what they're doing and what works. I'm not sure. I think those two sites are still in like their infancy, I think. But I think they have to just take what works from every site and kind of make theirs better. Whether it's Twitch improving their current live streaming platform, or doing something with VODs, or changing how people get discovered. Because a lot of complaints are, how do you get discovered on Twitch? And it's very poor and all that stuff. And they say other sites are better. Maybe they take some of that into account, but I have no idea, honestly, what they're going to take from each side and how to try and compete and improve and get better,
Yeah. I would say if YouTube ends up becoming a big competitor and Twitch has to take it seriously, which I think they've already done to an extent, but even more so, there's some big things that YouTube does really well that Twitch needs to figure out. So the biggest thing is getting people to stay on the site. YouTube is a master of that. I mean, how many times have you guys spent just binges on YouTube and one video to the next, and 2 hours, 3 hours have passed? YouTube knows how to do that really well. So I assume they're going to do that with live streaming as well. And they've probably already done it. The other side is the discoverability, which you kind of touched on, Don. And yes, like Vel, they did do the premieres before, but I'll be honest, I think Twitch's attempt at doing videos was really lame compared to what it could be.
Right.
Like, there's no algorithm, there's no search, there's a tag system, but the tags don't mean anything. But look at the comparison to YouTube about how specific you can be for what you want to find on YouTube, and how good YouTube is at serving you that thing that you're looking for. And then look at Twitch. It's just night and day, And I think those are going to be the things that are going to set apart YouTube from Twitch, and even like the other platforms. Like, you don't find that stuff on Mixer or Facebook really either. Plus, the last thing, YouTube's user base, like we touched on earlier, is just astronomical. I think YouTube is the second most visited website in the world behind Google, which by the way is also YouTube. So and then Twitch is like number 40 or something. So that's a big difference.
Right.
And so I think there's a lot of people who don't even know about live streaming still. Like Twitch has definitely blown up a lot, more so in the past couple of years. But there's still a huge chunk of people that don't know about streaming, and YouTube is going to be their first experience finding that, especially overseas. And just there's so many people who are on YouTube every day. I think that'll be the difference. So I would say the biggest thing is Twitch has to find a way to do videos right and to keep people on the site if they want to contest that.
Do you see Twitch hiring some YouTube employees in order to work on that instead of trying to build it like 100% in-house, get somebody with some experience who's worked on the YouTube platform that knows the ins and outs of, you know, algorithms and everything? Like, do you see like something like that happening soon then?
Maybe. It definitely could happen for sure. I think they could probably build it in-house too. Obviously, it makes the most sense to take the people who built the thing on YouTube and know it the best. But I don't know whether they can be bought out or not. But either way, I don't think they've really tried that much in-house. So at least try that first. And then if that doesn't work, bring the experts or, you know, something like that.
I echo what you say, like 100%. YouTube is definitely set up for this. They have these algorithms that work perfectly. I mean, everyone falls down these YouTube wormholes. Well, I do it almost every night, honestly. I watch all kinds of random videos, you know? And I see Twitch try to do this. I mean, they have the Discover page, and it has a lot of like, check out these smaller communities, check out these other communities. Then those, from what I can tell, are based off of like who your viewers watch as well, and who is in your channel and who they watch. Because when I go to these channels, I see a lot of the same people in there as well. So they're trying to do something. Is it effective? That's to be determined, to be honest. But I can see how like they are honestly set up to kind of take over, because when you think of streaming or watching any video online, anybody, just the regular person, what do you think of? You think of YouTube and you think of Netflix, you know? And so no one really talks about Twitch unless you're an actual like streamer, you know, or immersed in this gaming community or whatnot, you know? But to the average person, you're going to go to YouTube first because you know what YouTube is. You know, YouTube is just a bigger platform in general. So they are definitely set up for the future, you know? And then in terms of like what Vel said, hiring in-house, or, I mean, you know, getting someone in-house to build a platform, or hiring someone from YouTube, you know, if I'm Twitch, I'd rather hire somebody because they have the experience, they have the know-how, they have, you know, what the team takes. Now, I don't know if these current developers have these non-compete clauses where they can't go to a competitor within like 2 or 3 years or whatnot. I have no idea what the contracts say, but if I was Twitch, I'd try and grab someone from YouTube or grab someone from something else, you know, or YouTube grabbing someone from Twitch. I mean,
you want to know my hot take?
Yeah.
I think that there should be recommended streams on every channel on Twitch. Just like they're on YouTube.
You mean like on the bottom or something?
Or like, you know, on the sidebar on YouTube, you have those videos. I think you could replace like the following list, or like make a second bit that would be the default, or below even. And that sounds really bad as a streamer. Like you're promoting other people on my stream, right? But on Twitch's side, it makes a whole lot more sense because they can direct people to other content. And even as a streamer, I think you'd see a lot more people flowing into your stuff from other places. So
it can go both ways, you know. It goes both ways. People leave your stream, people come into your stream, you know. But I like the idea, like instead of the follower list or the viewer list, you just put a drop down. These are some more viewers you can check out. That way, it's not in your face, but it's there if you want to see it, you know.
What if they got rid of the online friends section under my following list? Because when's the last time I cared about my online friend on Twitch?
I don't even have friends.
Like, I'll use the following list here and there, but I wouldn't be that sad if it got replaced with like a recommended thing, or you could just toggle between those options. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the followed channels just because it's easy for me to like jump between when people go live. But the online friends, it's wasted space.
It literally is.
If they're going to add something like maybe recommend 2 streams, and like in that little section, looking at it right now, they could probably fit 2 little thumbnails there of someone playing the same game with, or someone with the same tags. Let's do the same tags and make that system useful finally, and put those 2 people over there that have a similar tag to me, and I can easily jump between those. Love it. I love it.
I think that's another big piece too, is I feel like showing live streams right now is just a randomly grabbed thumbnail of your stream, right? I feel like that can be massively improved too, whether it's your own
Yeah.
thumbnail you upload or there's like some customization options.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
I agree. I actually like your idea, Green. It's probably gonna get a lot of pushback from streamers, you know, because
Actually, the chat seems pretty. No one else here uses the friends list. Apparently, is what.
Yeah, I mean,
Eden hates the idea.
It makes
Well,
a lot of sense. And because I mean, you even say people are gonna not like it and say, well, then people are gonna click on someone else's
Right.
stream. Okay, well, the same thing's gonna happen for you. They're gonna be in someone else's stream and click on yours because they're gonna see someone maybe that they've never seen before.
You
with
just need better content.
yeah,
That's what it is.
that's part of it too.
Yeah.
If your content's good, you shouldn't worry, right?
Yep.
Right.
Anyway, that was a long response to your question, Savage. But do you have follow-up thoughts on that or anything?
You said all my follow. You literally, as I was thinking the follow-up thoughts, I was like, "Oh, algorithm." You were like, "Well, they should maybe do an algorithm." I was like, "Okay, well, there's that." Thumbnails. It's like, yeah, maybe if they could give you the thumbnails, well, there's that. So,
Yep.
no, that actually is an awesome idea. And here's the thing: if I'm gonna leave someone's stream, I'm probably going to leave regardless of whether I have an option of seeing what might be more interesting, as well as I'm also more likely to go back to that stream. Like, even when I leave a stream, if I like the stream or the person, I go back. It's just a matter of what time I have to give what attention, but I will go back if it's good enough. Or if I see somebody, I can't follow them or I don't want to follow them right now or watch them right now, I'll then follow them. And then the next time they're on, I'll watch them. So I think that would be a great option. And then my only other question to play further again as a callback, devil's advocate of the whole situation, I don't think you should get preferential treatment as far as breaking the rules. However, what do you think? I don't even know what the capabilities of this are, but you consider we play games, we showcase the games for the companies, and do you think they can or should possibly give some type of preferential treatment as far as quality of the game to streamers? And I'll give this example. I play the game Space Lords, which it's really an awesome game, and their only downside, in my opinion, is just the wait time in the lobby. They could make that a little bit better of experience because it seems like you're waiting forever. But it's there's me and two other guys stream this game. Like, literally, I'll be in the waiting room, and I don't know if they actually do this, but I'll joke. I'm like, okay, I know you guys check the numbers. You know, you're a video game company. This is Twitch. This is what you're watching. Just let me in the game. Just let me in the game, and I'll start talking junk, and then I'll see, like, let's see how many people are streaming the game, and I'll go, and there's me and maybe two other people. And I usually time something smart, you know, Alec, to say right around the time, throw me in the game, and it's funny and everything. But do you think game companies should or is it even possible for them to kind of watch, games that deal with multiple players at, online, at live, and kind of give them a boost or be able to give them a boost? Because let's be honest, we're selling their games.
What kind of boost do you mean here? So
just like, okay, like the game I play, you have to wait in a lobby. So something as simple as, okay, we have 3 people streaming our game and we're waiting in a lobby. Is there any way we can get these 3 people in a lobby faster? Because if somebody's watching this game and they see, okay, I'm going to watch this person streaming, and now they're waiting in the lobby forever, I don't think I want to play this game because I don't even want to wait to watch them play the game.
Right. Got it. So I'll go ahead and answer some examples of that, actually. I know for a fact this already exists and happens a lot for content creators. There's 2 examples. One is when Riot released TFT, which is their auto battler game. The queues for that game were like 12 hours long when it came out, but they gave content creators the ability to get in instantly if they were streaming. Not all streamers, but like the top ones, they gave favoritism and they could get right into the game. And I think the same thing happened with WoW, I want to say. Maybe Vince knows. Yeah, it did happen with that too. So again, when WoW Classic came out, obviously there were huge queues for that, and the top streamers were able to get in instantly because Blizzard hooked them up. So there are cases of this happening, and I think that's a good question. Do you guys think that should be something that happens, or is that another conflict of interest? Who wants to kick this one off?
I'll do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're talking about giving early access to content creators, right, before the game releases?
Well, it's specifically kind of like queue time skipping. So let's assume that like you and I both got a game came out that we can access today. So it's not really early access, but it's 10 minutes to get in the game, or 10 hours.
Yeah.
I
So you
tweet
get
10
someone to
hours,
watch it
you
as
get
well.
it instantly as a streamer.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh man. From a business standpoint, I would 100% do this if I was a gaming company. You know, you're gonna have eyes on this ninja. He streams a game. You know, and 30,000 people are watching him. Like from a business aspect, I would do this. You know, but I would only do it as kind of like maybe in the beginning when the game launches. You know, when queue times are certainly long. You know. After a while, you might taper it off. There is a game out there that kind of does this. I'm not sure if you guys know what Crunker is. It's like a FPS game. I think what they do is they have on the bottom people who are currently streaming the game or something, and you can kind of check it out. The top streamers, but so there is some kind of interest into this, and companies have looked into it. Now, I'm not sure if the big companies have looked into this or not. But
Blizzard and Riot
again, from what was that?
Blizzard and Riot have both looked into it. So
Oh,
big.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, I would do it from a business standpoint. That's me though. Other people, regular people like you and me, might think it's unfair, but I think it's a smart business decision.
So I really quickly want to clarify. I think Eden was asking. So it's not like the staff have to go and just watch Twitch constantly and then let someone in. It's more like you just whitelist some names or accounts, and that person can get in instantly. Hopefully that makes more sense. But sorry. Vel, you had some thoughts to add there too?
Yeah, I think like obviously it's a good idea because you don't want everybody to see that it just takes forever to get into the game. You want to make sure you're selling games and selling copies and all that. So it does make sense from that point. But for like a streamer like me, if you know I'm having a hard time getting into, let's say, Call of Duty lobbies or whatever at launch, and let's say Ninja or Tim the Tatman gets in instantly, and like they have like content going the full time, like the whole time that they're there's no like wait times or anything, then like people aren't really going to watch me sit in a lobby. Even like some of my like hardcore viewers that just want to watch the new game, they're going to go and they're going to watch it there. You know what I mean? So it does take away from the smaller viewers, but that's not something that's in our control really. So it sucks, but at the same time, like businesses have to do what they have to do in order to make money. And so it makes sense. It sucks, but I do agree with that decision.
Right. Cool. MPI, any last thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I can see the positive and negatives to it for everyone involved because, you know, like Veli said, either you could be streaming it and then, well, I'm stuck in a 10-hour queue. I guess I can't stream this game, but Tim the Tatman got in, so I don't know. I guess I'll just turn my stream off because no one's going to stay. They're going to go watch his. And that sucks for the small guys. It makes sense from a business side, but then it's also... I think, I don't know, it's a tough line because you're going to make a lot of people happy, you're going to make a lot of people upset. I don't personally like the idea of it. I don't think anyone should ever be given preferential treatment over anything for any reason, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think sorry, you can keep talking.
Yeah, I just think it would too kind of like, it would be better, I think, to say a new expansion's coming out or a new DLC's coming out. Big time streamers should get that like a week or so, maybe 2 weeks early versus you get in the queue faster than everyone else because then you've got people who just want to play the game that can't even play it just because someone's streaming it. They may not even watch streams. And they're just like, I just really want to play my favorite game and I can't play it because Ninja got in first.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a situation where you kind of have to make the most of a bad situation. I think it's a good thing, honestly, because I was watching both TFT and Classic when this happened, and most people can't play the game, really. I mean, that's just how it is, but at least you can watch it. I think if you couldn't play the game and you couldn't watch the game because most streamers couldn't get in, then that's even a worse situation, especially like in both of these cases, these were brand new games, right, that have a lot of hype around them. And a lot of people want to play them. A lot of people cannot play them, but at least they can watch it. If they can't watch it either, then all the hype kind of dies off for it. So I personally think this is one of those things that, like, yes, you kind of have a double standard here, but this is not, a big double standard in my view. Yeah. I think these people are doing good things for your company, and it's not like a cheating situation, right, or a punishment. This is just giving access to someone who's put a lot of time into what you've done already, and from business standpoint, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think of it more of like it's kind of like a promotional kickoff, or it's advertising really. I don't really think of it as preferential treatment. I think it's like, yo, we have, like $100,000. Let's throw this $100,000 towards advertising and use that towards 5 streamers, give them 20 grand. That's really, it's really advertising. It's promotion. It's kind of like a grand opening of a store. It's really what it is. You want to get eyes and ears on what you've just put out there. And one of the best ways right now for some video games is streamers. That's just kind of how I would look at it. During the COD launch, though, just to speak about COD, I couldn't get in for 2 hours. I was streaming for 2 hours, couldn't get in. A lot of others couldn't get in. Dr. Disrespect couldn't get in either. Yeah. But what my community was doing, they're like, yo, you can't get in, Lyle. It's so funny. So-and-so got in, but they would come back and they'd be like, yo, are you in yet? Let's wait. They were like, it was almost like a competition to see who could get in, like you or Dr. Disrespect, Yeah. So that's kind of a fun thing, honestly. I didn't find it too damaging at all, because I couldn't get into the COD game,
And you could think of like the Fortnite thing too, when the game was down for 3 days. Like they could have probably let people in early for that, but I don't know. It's not quite the same example, but similar.
Yeah.
Savage,
does that kind of answer your question, or follow-up thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, I think another thing they could possibly do it just to even it out is have it so set up a program, or specific game companies, whether Blizzard, whoever, set up it so that they say, hey, smaller streamers, sign up for to enter in this program, and if you're picked, we'll give you preferential treatment in the queue. And just on a standpoint of you're getting something, everybody's getting something for nothing for the most part. As a gamer and a streamer, you'll probably sign up just because you're like, yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not getting paid, which I should probably be getting paid, but I'm lower level. This is kind of where I'm at as far as what I can get. Let me take it, run with it, maybe make something more of it, and then go forward. Just as something more for people to, that want to do this seriously, get a step forward and kind of learn business acumen as far as how to handle working with game companies and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. Cool, man. Thank you for calling in and for the questions. I appreciate it.
No problem. You guys are awesome. Just keep staying awesome.
Will do, man. Thanks for
See you,
the support.
Savage.
Take it easy. Later, Don. Later, Val.
Take it easy, man.
All right. Let me check the server. Crazy Eyes is actually waiting to call in again.
Ooh,
the Veloc impersonator.
Hey,
eyes. They're crazy.
Sure, though.
We'll see what he wants to chat about on today's show. Crazy, you there? Maybe. Oh, we got the video too. I wonder if he's
he's wearing the beard.
Oh no, it's too itchy to wear at work.
Makes sense. How's it going, man?
Sneezing, fake Veloc beard all day long. Thank you very much. I am a first-time watcher, long-time caller. It's a pretty interesting little show that you have here. It's nice. I like the setup, the layout. You people look very nice.
Thank you.
Very attractive. Thank you. I was thinking why Twitch could really do well with some like Netflix-esque categories, like sad fat men in their 30s who play the same game every day, or like how there's like, oh, travel movies for women who are exactly 19 and 2 months old from Korea. Like it's always just super specific. But Netflix knows what they're doing, so Twitch can definitely take a play out of that book.
Okay, so like hyper-specific categories?
Right. So, well, maybe, okay, a little bit more. Just sad fat men could be the category.
Yeah. I feel like you're attacking me right now.
No. This is more self-defecating.
Okay, so more kind of like fun categories as opposed to specific to games and things?
It goes back to the tags as well, because they could definitely do with an improvement on that. Like, oh, here's other people who have tagged lonely and drunk, and like other streamers who are doing that. I mean, it doesn't all have to be existentially awful things.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be,
So you're basically saying you're basically talking about just another improvement on like an algorithm or something, right?
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, use the tags to promote things people want to watch. If they like watching like people scream all the time and be ADHD Ritalin soaked streamers who do nothing but shout, I mean, you could definitely have a category of that, and all the 11-year-olds would love it.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody have thoughts on this one in terms of learning from Netflix?
I've always wanted them to have categories and whatnot. Like, it'd be cool to label yourself as like a more comedic streamer, or a more sweaty streamer that like tries to just win games, doesn't really talk to chat as much, but just like wants to play games, or the ones that are more community based, things like that. I think anything to diversify yourself from other people, and have that searchable is super awesome. Like, it would just increase discoverability on Twitch, which everybody knows is already a huge problem. I think it's a great idea, and I've been wanting them to do that for forever.
Yeah, that's a way better way of putting it.
That was much more eloquent.
Yeah, the way that you said it was, great and all, but
yeah, I
I'll be in
think
the visceral section.
Yeah,
I think for sure
it might help people use like tags more often as well, because like Denerai in the chat is saying no one uses Denerai. No one uses tags, because I don't use tags either, because they're not used very effectively, or they're not, in terms of like how they're searched, they're not as effective. So. What am I missing? Why is everyone laughing?
Crazy guys called him a different name.
Crazy
guys called him a different name last night, and he almost said it on the podcast. I'm like, no, don't do it. I'm not here. This isn't the place for it.
Poor Dan.
I definitely think, like we talked about earlier, obviously the algorithm and the tags could all be a lot better, and it's like the discoverability. Same thing. I don't think they necessarily have to copy like Netflix's example per se. There's a lot of places they can learn from that do this right. Netflix is one of them. YouTube is one. I haven't found a new streamer to watch on Twitch in so long. Versus YouTube, I'm finding new people to watch every day. And even like Netflix, right? There's a new show that pops up that kind of interests me every day. So that's the big difference there, I think.
I think if they took the tag section and essentially just made it YouTube's tag section, where I could actually type in what I wanted it to say, and people could type in what they want, like energetic, like Veli said. Then in the search bar, you type energetic, and everyone who put in the word energetic can pop up, and you can watch them. Or competitive, or chilled, relaxed, something that is actually searchable, versus whatever the tag system is now, where if I go to a stream that already has it, I can click on it. But I had to find the stream that already had the tag to click on the tag.
Right.
So making it more open-ended, I think, would make it more useful.
Sure. Cool. Crazy.
And you could make it that, you could put fat, lonely 30s man, and people could search that and find
Thank
you.
you.
It could be anything you want it to be. I believe in you.
Guy who has been streaming for 4 years and still only has 76 followers, 2 average viewers. It's a category I'd like to check out. I want to see the kind of people who have been that dedicated for that long to so few people.
Hashtag huge embarrassing failure.
Gotta appreciate commitment. Cool. Well, anything else to add there, Crazy?
I don't.
Okay. Best caller, dude. That's
did
the
that
best.
last time too. I forgot. Just
that was
out.
amazing.
Right. Don't even get a chance to thank him.
That was amazing. That guy cracks me up literally every time he's
hilarious.
on the show.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have another repeat caller coming back, which is British Avenger. It's only a matter of time.
Brett
has gotta be ready for
it. We're ringing right now. See if he'll pick up here. Britt, you there?
Hello? Yeah?
Hey man, what's up? How are you?
I'm alright. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. What do you want to chat about today, my man?
So, I want to talk about drama with Twitch drama with like viewers and probably streamers. Like I'm not gonna name the person, but like I just had just an issue with someone because like I tweeted like about like streaming or whatever, and like he just was kind of replying with answers I wasn't really liking. And of course this was being kind of the first time that I was dealing with like an issue like this, so I didn't really know like how to deal with it. So like how I dealt with it at the time was just kind of replied to it, but like I made sure not to like carry on for too long to like obviously make it worse. then eventually I just deleted the whole tweeting together, so it never happened. Like, so my question is just like, how would you deal with like drama between like viewers and streamers?
Okay, so
It can be on Twitter or any like social media.
Okay, this was a viewer in this case?
No, it was another streamer.
Okay. But you're kind of interested in both sides for viewers
Yeah.
and stream. Okay. Yeah. Has anybody, you guys dealt with this in the past before? Drama? Vel?
Yeah, I mean, I've had drama with both other streamers and other viewers, and like the best thing is to just not really address it too much on your stream. You want to make sure to focus on positivity. So like on your stream, just don't even worry about it. It's not a good idea to ever really talk bad about other people. And like even on social media, it's not necessarily the best thing either, because it's essentially just an extension of you and your channel. So anytime there's any sort of like negativity, I just stay away from like broadcasting it to any internet service. You know what I mean? Like I don't want people to think that I don't want my dirty laundry to be out there for anybody. I don't want any of my drama to be out there for anybody, because like everybody's going to get their own opinion of it, and maybe they won't get the full story or anything like that. So if you do have dramas, just best to stay away from it and keep it in DMs if you can. It's really not worth everybody seeing. It's not their business. It's not, anything that they should have to worry about anyway.
Gotcha. Don, NPI, you guys have thoughts?
Yeah, there's two approaches. One is to be civil about it. If there's drama coming your way, you don't want to deal with it. The best thing to do is to ignore it or take it offline. But just be warned. If there is drama and you do talk about it publicly, you just gotta be ready to embrace what's gonna come back to you. So there's really two ways. If you want the drama and whatnot, some people do. I don't, but there are some people out there that like the drama. They feed off of it. So if you do happen to respond publicly, you just gotta be ready for the backlash that might come with. But typically, whenever I have an issue, which is pretty rare actually, I try and keep it, adulty, offline, or just completely ignore it.
Gotcha. Cool. MPI thoughts there?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Don. I think if it's with another streamer, I would almost just ignore them. Like, I just be like, whatever, dude. I'm gonna focus on what I'm working. I'm trying to do things. I'm not on Twitter talking smack to people. I got stuff to do. If it's with a viewer who maybe you're having constant problems with, either they're saying things that aren't okay with in your community, things like that, I think you can DM them if you want to on Discord or Twitter, wherever it is, and say, hey man, I just want to let you know that what you're saying isn't okay, or it doesn't quite fit with the community. If that's something you want to do somewhere else, that's cool. But when you're in my streams or in sending me tweets, don't say these things. I think the best thing to do is just act like the bigger person. Handle it as an adult. I don't understand drama. Maybe I'm a strange person or socially inept or something, but I don't get drama. I see it and I'm just like, you both look dumb. And why is this happening? Who cares? Go stream. Go make your videos. Go be better than that person. Instead of saying, well, you're dumb too. Like, cool. Now you both look
I'm
like
not
idiots
dumb.
on
You're
the
dumb.
internet.
Yeah.
Like, well, my mom said I'm pretty. Who cares? Like, I see people do this all the time. I see this from big partnered streamers, and they're like, "Yeah, I just unfollowed everybody because everybody was being mean to me, and I'm not dealing with drama." And I'm like, "Well, get over it. Grow up a little." Like, I can get it if it's bad stuff, like if it's like racism, homophobia, things like that. That's different. But if it's just somebody that's like, that guy's overlay does not look good tonight, who cares? Like, move on from it. But I think the biggest thing is to just be the bigger person at that point. And if it's a friend or someone that you want to keep a connection with, just let them know, like, hey man, this doesn't work for me, or like what you said kind of upset me or it offended me. I just want you to know that that's not cool. But if it's someone that either you don't have a connection with, or they're just being a jerk to be a jerk, I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to like when we were in school, and it's like, just ignore them and they go away.
Yeah.
If they don't, there's a block button. Block them.
Yep.
If it goes beyond that, you can report them.
Right.
I'm gonna take a quick little fun approach to this. Okay. Now, if you have drama with the small streamer or whatnot, yeah, you can ignore it. But maybe if the streamer has like he has some clout, you might want, you might want to pump the drama up a little bit,
I'm heading out. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I talked about a friend with this the other day, actually, like streamer houses and stuff.
Yeah.
How like people live together, and I'm like, great, that sounds amazing. And then suddenly they're like, there's drama in the FaZe Clan house. I'm like, who cares?
Well, have you guys seen all the offline TV crap that's been happening this weekend? I don't know if anyone's
I have
familiar
no
with
idea what that is.
Basically, there's a ton of drama this weekend. I don't follow any of it, but like that's an example of a streamer house where that happens. So
yeah, and it's like people make the drama to make the views.
Yep. Well,
and that's not. I don't think that is a good way to get viewership. I guess if you want to,
if you're Tyler One, it makes sense.
Yeah, if you want to be a flash in the pan or constantly just be that guy, that's fine. But if you want to be, a legitimate content creator that has some morals, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, it matters a lot with the context of what specifically happened and like you said, what you personally want to do and what your approach to that is going to be, because it's different per person. I'm kind of on the same side where I just have zero interest in drama stuff, so I just stay away from it. I don't want to get caught up in that, but maybe that's you. Maybe you do want to be involved in drama. You can be if you want to take Don's approach and play into it.
I mean, if Ninja's gonna call me trash on the street, I'm gonna fire back like a million bullets out of
That's where like the context matters so much, though. Like because that can just be like banter versus someone just being snarky or something seriously at you.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think it's best to just be the bigger person. And honestly, like this happened to me like maybe a week ago, not even, where I had some kind of close friends, say some things about the channel that I didn't really agree with. And I could have like sulked about it. I could have been upset and, I could have like lashed back or whatever, but I tried to stay as calm as possible. And then I realized that like some of the things that they were saying were just to try to hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? And so what I did is I just realized that, they're focused on like the dumbest things right now. I'm just going to go and have fun doing my stream. I'm going to make this the best damn stream that I can. So just use it as motivation. You got people who like might think badly about you, but they're too wrapped up in things that don't really matter. So go do your thing, have fun, and kick that stream's ass. You know what I mean? Just use that as like as fuel and just go have fun with it, because you know that you're focused on the right things.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
But on a quick thing on Brit's thing, because I'm sure Brit fired back because some of the tweets he got were upsetting or whatnot. Whenever that stuff happens to me, if it puts you in a bad mood or upsets you, I literally ignore or delete it. Like don't waste your time and energy on being upset about someone that you don't really even know, off the internet. It's really not worth it at the end of the day. Let it go, ignore it. You can spend your time doing much better things.
Yeah, Britt, you've got any questions or thoughts on that stuff?
What Don just said, like it takes a lot to like really upset me. But like how it went, I kind of laughed at it, to be honest, because just like replies were like coming from him was kind of funny. Like it's just like, of course, me being a small streamer, I need to know like certain ways to like deal with certain stuff on social media is like always great help. But I don't expect like me to have it like anymore or whatever, and I don't want head into drama, because I think that's never good for any type of streamer, if you do like it or not.
Gotcha. Cool, man. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Have a good one. See you next week, as always. All right, let me check the server. Okay, we're through the callers, so we can finally jump into the offline questions. So let me pull those up. We had a couple from Twitter, I believe. So let me jump into those. So the first one comes from Marcus on Twitter. He says, I've been streaming on Mixer for about 8 months with little to no growth. I expected this because I only stream and I'm only interested in streaming popular games like COD, PUBG, and Fortnite. My question is, should I make the switch to Twitch, TM, because of the chance for more exposure? I started on Mixer because my theory was that even though there are less people watching, I would be in a smaller pool of streamers. Interesting. So he's been on Mixer for 8 months. It's not working out. He's not growing. Should he switch to Twitch to try and get some growth? Do you guys think that's a good idea? Don, go ahead.
Okay. So I recently went to Mixer just for fun off my Twitch times and the weekends and nights when I was kick back and hang out. Because I thought the same thing. Mixer has, yes, they have less people on there watching, but there are less people streaming. So hopefully you get discovered easier rather than Twitch, So I literally thought the exact same thing as this viewer. And I found my growth on Mixer to be no faster than it is on Twitch. None. I found it to be exactly the same. So that's just me personally. So to answer his question, if your growth on a smaller platform is going to be the same as your growth on the bigger platform, which is what I experienced personally, I would just go ahead and switch to the bigger platform, because that just leads for you, like the ceiling for your growth is much higher on Twitch, than it is on Mixer. You would think you grow faster on Mixer, and maybe that's the case. Maybe my own personal experience is I just had a negative experience, but I didn't find my growth on Mixer any faster than on Twitch. So from just a future aspect, business looking forward, go to Twitch. It has a higher ceiling. That's my own personal take on that.
Gotcha. Cool. MPI.
I mean, I haven't really tried Mixer in like a serious way. I tried it whenever it first came out just to kind of see how it worked, but compared to Twitch, it didn't grab me as much. But I think, like what Don said, if you're playing those big popular games like Fortnite, you're gonna have a hard time growing no matter what. But Twitch does have a bigger ceiling. There are way more people here than there are on Mixer, and it's kind of like we've talked about before when like Ninja made his jump to Mixer and everybody went, "There's my quick buck," and followed behind him, and then went, "Oh, there's like 8 people here." Oh boy. And then everyone came back to Twitch. I think if you're wanting to stay outside of Twitch and you're streaming games like that, at this point it might be more beneficial to look at YouTube than Mixer.
I was gonna say
because like we were just talking about, those are the big games on YouTube. There's less people, but still high numbers there compared to Mixer. And if you're just looking for the biggest streaming platform with the biggest technical possibility of growth, I would say Twitch is the place to be. But you're going to struggle with playing games like that just because everyone else is doing, or not everyone, but so many people are doing the same thing. And that's fine. Don't play games that you don't like just to grow. But if you're wanting to say, I want to play Fortnite all the time, Twitch or YouTube might be the place to be over Mixer.
Gotcha. Vel, what's your take on this?
I definitely think that either Twitch or YouTube, and you can experiment with both. I think that those would be the best options for you, just because of the ceiling. Like everybody said, it's like it's the thing that matters the most when looking into switching to a different platform. Because if you're not getting a contract with it, then you need to worry about how much potential there is for you to grow. Like not just immediate growth, but in the future, you need to look at this long term. And with Twitch and YouTube, the long term is much better as of right now than Mixer is. So I definitely agree with what everybody said. I don't see a point in playing the devil's advocate here. Like I just want to give you solid advice, as solid as I can think of. I think that switching from Mixer to a larger platform is a good idea, and you can experiment with either one and see which one you like the most, because I think they're both viable options.
Yeah. And if you have any questions on what should I do it or should I not do it, why not just give it a shot for a couple, try it out. You'll never know, until maybe you experience it yourself, and it actually takes a lot of courage to make moves like that, just because you go to Mixer for a couple of streams doesn't mean you're there permanently, or Twitch, just go there for a little bit, give it a shot, see if you like the UI, see if you like the interaction, see if growth is the same, and then from there make your own call, try it out.
Yeah, the one thing I want to say on this to be careful about is most likely just switching platforms is not going to make a huge change in your growth. It's probably going to require more of a shift in your content too. So it's not going to be enough to just take exactly what you're doing on Mixer and just move it to Twitch and expect things to be so much different because of the platform. I would definitely, in conjunction with moving platforms, try and upgrade your content in some capacity. Whether that means making YouTube videos if you're going to YouTube, or even if you're going to Twitch, or trying to try some sort of different content when you're live, commentaries and things, or just new ideas. Because if you've been doing that for 8 months and there hasn't been a lot of growth. I think it's time to try something different and mix things up a little bit.
Agree.
I see a couple people in chat asking about why not stream on multiple websites. And one thing, the biggest reason is if you're an affiliate on Twitch, you're not allowed to do that.
Well, not at the same time.
Well, yeah, not at the same time. Sorry. I see like stream on multiple platforms at the same time is what a few people are saying. So that goes against the TOS if you're a Twitch affiliate. That's
right.
the reason.
And
if you don't care about making money on directly from Twitch, I mean, that's an option. There's some people who do that, and it's like, yeah, you can go to Patreon instead. But
well, actually, I want to mention something that I forgot to bring up on the show. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. I've started getting emails from Restream specifically about some sort of paid system where basically they'll pay you to stream on Restream to stream to the other websites.
Weird.
So yeah,
I haven't seen that.
It's interesting.
Interesting.
I'll try to pull up the details for it later if I can. But it's kind of an interesting
crazy.
idea because you could multi-stream and you'd get your monetization through Restream as opposed to through the platform you're streaming to. And there might be like legal issues there. But
do they pay you directly, or do people have to like sub through Restream?
No. It's like, think of it as if Restream will pay you to run ads on your stream, right? And then they'll pay you for those ads. Sort of like loots or impressions, but they're hitting 3 platforms instead of 1 or however many. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. I'm not interested in it personally, but
yeah, no.
if you really like multi-streaming,
you had to run ads.
yeah, I mean that's the only way they can do it really, because people aren't watching on Restream. You know, they're just trying to measure the impressions across the platforms and then pay you for those. So, but in any case, yeah, multi-streaming is not the best for a lot of reasons. Maybe it's becoming more viable, but you're going to segment your community between different platforms, and also there's contract concerns if you're an affiliate, so it's tough to make work.
So before I did a little stint on Mixer, I read all the contracts and TOS and whatnot, and just to keep it super short, you can actually merge your Twitch and your Mixer community together. A lot of people on Mixer come to find out they have a Twitch account as well, and so they'll watch you on Twitch whenever you stream on Twitch. But yeah, you can't stream at the same time, but you can stream directly afterwards. But then that just means you're streaming even longer. It's more taxing on your body. That's what I found. I was exhausted doing 2 of these things. So I saw someone in the chat ask, just make a staggered schedule. Yeah, you can do that, but man, if you have the energy for that, more power to you. But I found that very hard to do personally.
Yeah,
and on top of that,
or if you're doing like Mondays on like Mixer Monday, Twitch Tuesday, then it's like, well, then unless people are following you everywhere, which not everyone's going to do, you have less time with people, and that takes away from why you watch a streamer, I think.
Vel, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you are streaming on multiple things and doing them separately, it removes the ability to focus on YouTube or focus on social media as much, because it's not that you're doing 2 different platforms at the same time, it's that you're dedicating double the time now to just basically one thing, but on 2 separate, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, like, one thing isn't really benefiting the other, as opposed to like if you were doing Twitch but you also wanted to start like doing YouTube videos, those kind of benefit each other in the long run. As opposed to, you can't really do Mixer and Twitch and then do YouTube videos on the side,
right? And the thing
as an affiliate or partner,
and like MPI kind of said, I think like the platform loyalty is a big thing too. People kind of get attached to whatever platform they find first. So I think for a lot of us, like, Twitch just is the live streaming site for us, just because it's the first thing that we found. So it's tough to have people move to another platform with you if it's a smaller one, and even if it's a bigger one. Like, a lot of people might stream from Twitch and YouTube, but they're used to following you on Twitch, so they're not going to watch you on YouTube. So it's tough to make that work across your community. And that's why you see people drop off when Ninja gets bought off by Mixer. Even like huge brand like Ninja can't convert people over to Mixer very efficiently.
And if he can't do it, what makes you think that the small guys can? And you're going to get people to follow you no matter what, but it's going to be a fraction of those people are going to go with you. Right.
Cool. Good question. That was the end from Marcus on Twitter. Let me check the server really quick. Oh, Sadomi's calling in. All right.
Ooh.
Let's get sad homie on the show who cracked an egg on his head over the weekend. That actually happened.
And ketchup. Don't forget about the ketchup.
Was there ketchup again too?
That again?
Yeah, he had to get it in all of his pores. He had to exfoliate, is what he said.
Bring it on,
It was a
Sadomi.
great clip. It was
Bring it on,
amazing.
Sadomi. Vince had the headphones off.
Slacking.
Jeez. All right, I don't
Fuzz
want to mess up the
guy.
overlay, so I had to give him the heads up here. All right, now we're bringing Sadomi on. Let's see. Sadomi? Oh, ringing still. Oh, he's always a little late to the show, so maybe he'll pick up this time. Sorry. Sadomi, how you doing, man? How are you?
Hey, am I echoing because I don't have headphones because they bripped over the weekend? So I'm on speakers, so I apologize if you hear echo.
You're fine.
You sound fine.
Cool, perfect. All right, I'll be quick because I got stuff to do. But
Same.
this is really
Thinks
broad.
he's so
That's what I was thinking
important.
about myself earlier. In each of yours opinions, and I definitely want Greens on this too. What is the biggest mistake you see streamers doing in regards to getting discovered in 2019, going in 2020?
Okay. Anyone want to start this one?
I think the biggest mistake is one of the same that people have made for the longest time, and that's thinking all you have to do is hit go live. And that's it. Nobody focuses on, we were just talking about it. You know, there's a lot less people who they do their streams and then that's it. They don't make a YouTube highlight clip for like the end of that stream or once a month, or make let's plays or post clips on Instagram or Twitter, or go watch other streams, or do anything other than just say, all right, well, I did my stream. Well, all right, it's bedtime. You know, it's just a lot of people think that's all that it takes, where there's a lot outside of being live. Sure, being live is super helpful, and if you're not going live, you're not going to grow, but you have to do things outside of just being live. And it's not easy to do. I'm not saying that, but I think that's the mistake a lot of people make, is they think you hit go live and then you're a millionaire.
Right. I could do that. Easy.
Yeah, I did it. I did it 5 times.
Right. I think the biggest thing that people are doing in 2019 that's not helping them is switching platforms without a designated reason, whether it's getting paid to switch or whether there's one thing on this specific platform that you seriously like a lot more than the other platform. I think streamers that switch platforms without that specific reason and they only do it for growth or discoverability, I don't think, unless it's YouTube, because YouTube obviously has that thing where you can implement YouTube and your streaming all into one thing. But if you're not doing YouTube yet anyway, then are you really going to start doing YouTube just because you're on YouTube? So I think switching platforms just for the sake of growth or discoverability is the biggest problem that people are making, or biggest mistake that people are making right now.
Gotcha. It's for sure. That's a big one. Don, you have thoughts?
One mistake that I'm currently making right now is what MPI said. I don't do anything on social media. I don't post YouTube. I don't post Instagram. I barely use Twitter. But I think one mistake that a lot of people are making are they don't use their Discord enough, right? People are saying, oh, let's build a community. That's cool, but like, are you, is your community in Discord? Like that's how people like make real connections with people now. Like you stream for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day. How do they get a hold of you afterwards? How do they talk to you? How do they conversate? How do they share things? How do you just talk about random things? It's really through Discord, and so I've preached it myself. Is like I'm always on Discord all the time. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of conversations to hold. It's hard to kind of always be interactive in Discord, but I think that's very important. I don't think people are active enough in their Discords. Like that's how like people in Discord, that's how your community becomes friends with each other, not just with you, but like with each other. Like there are times in my chat a lot every day where they just talk to each other. I'm not even talking to them. They just talk to each other because they're good friends via Discord already. That's how I think building a community. That's step one for me, is try and get everyone in Discord and try and get them to communicate and actually be friends organically,
I think that's like the third or fourth thing I do in my morning routine is just like say like good morning to my Discord.
Right.
Like I roll over, I stretch, drink some water, check to make sure I don't have like any important like family phone calls or anything, and then I'm just like, what's up, Discord? Like,
yeah,
I agree with that. That's a huge one too, is if you have a Discord, using it outside of @everyone I'm live.
I think those are all really good answers, all three of them. I'd say for me, like, it goes even a little bit deeper than that, though. I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to think about what makes them different from everybody else. And a lot of people might think like that's a new platform or that's a new social media or something, but it's deeper than that. It's like, what are you doing that no one else is doing on Twitch or YouTube? Or why should people watch you over anyone else? And again, that's something you can't just solve by switching a platform. You have to figure out what's going to make you unique, and like what's a new idea you can bring to this space that no one's done before, that you can do better than anyone else. And a lot of people don't do that. They just kind of stream the same games, and they make like minor adjustments to the game they're streaming or challenges or whatever. But a lot of examples I look at of people that have really blown up recently are people that have something very unique. I think even like with this podcast, that was one of the reasons this worked really well, is because there weren't any other live streaming podcasts in the space when we started, and we aggressively pursued that, and it got a lot of traction because of that. But it's a lot of other things too. Just stuff is so saturated in live streaming now, and it's a lot of work to try and find something that's actually unique and not just slightly unique, or maybe like you feel like it's unique but no one else actually thinks it's interesting. And it's like, that's the hard question you have to sit down and brainstorm for a month and really hit down. And the other piece of this is the sacrifice, like choosing to not do certain things that you would want to do so that you can choose this better thing. So choosing not to play Fortnite, whatever, 2 days a week, so that you can play this other game every single day, because you know long term that's going to pay off and be huge. I think like that's the thing people either don't realize they should be doing or don't want to make the sacrifice to see the payoff long term. If I think it's like the core issue there.
I think people get scared to try things too, because they're scared if they try something new, they're going to fail.
Exactly. It's easier to do what everyone else is doing, right?
Yeah. Or even just like, it's easy to keep doing what you are doing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
someone who just streams Fortnite and that's it. And it's like, well, I've not grown any in the past year. And then somebody tells them like, man, all you do is stream Fortnite. You should try something else. And they're like, that's scary. That was like, well, what do you got to lose, man? Sometimes you got to take that chance. Like,
and like,
just go for
the other piece of that is it's really hard to find unique content. I'm not saying that everyone can do this. I'm saying that it's a very small minority that actually finds something unique or actually have some really appealing angle that no one else is doing. And the vast majority of people don't find that. So that's the thing that kind of makes or break people, I think, if you're trying to really break into the space and become a big force in it.
Yeah. And I think too, when you start talking about finding things like that, people don't try to think like logically or about things that they can do. They start to look at stuff like Dr. Disrespect, who has this whole crazy persona that he puts on and has, you know, all these graphics and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, yeah, that stands out, but that's not what you have to do. Just think of anything that's different, even if it's, you know, just you wear a suit on your stream because you want to be the fancy guy on stream.
Yeah, here's the difference though. Like Doc fully commits to that thing.
Oh
right?
yeah, and I'm not saying that's a
100%.
bad thing, but I think it's people take it from like 0 to 100. They're like, I have to be as crazy as Dr. Disrespect or as whoever, rather than just like,
it's more like you just have to fully
something.
embrace the thing that you're going for, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's going to involve not playing games you want to play or streaming on days you don't want to stream. But that's the price you pay to make it long term. So that's the deep thing that I think it's very hard to find, but that's what's going to set you apart if you really want to get discovered, because that feeds into everything else. Like if you want to be whatever, the Fortnite guy, like look at Fortnite creators who've blown up in the last couple months, right? They're playing the same game as everybody else, but either they're better than everybody else and they've got some unique angle that no one else is doing, or they've gotten some promotion opportunities and they worked really hard for that. It's like you got to study those people who've made it and see what did they do that stood out from everyone else, and how can I kind of learn from that and take an example there. But Sadomi, you have thoughts on that?
So going to the entire conversation, that was glorious. And Green, you hit the answer I was looking for, because this is actually a follow-up question that I really think a lot of people don't think about, that I was thinking about a few weeks ago. I've been kind of researching myself as well. But along with making your stream stand out and different, instead of all the like what you wear, what you do, all that other stuff, I think people should think about the value they bring and then how to convert that value into numbers, whatever that number you want it to be, whether it be viewers, income, monetization, or even influence or clout. How would you go about transforming that value into those numbers. And not everyone has the same answer because it's different for everybody. But I think everyone should think about their value and how to convert that value first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Anybody else have thoughts on this?
I think that you shouldn't be afraid of change, honestly. Like, don't be afraid to change your content. It takes a lot of balls to do it, but do it. What do you have to lose? Literally nothing, right?
Mhm.
I think that, there are a lot of ways to make it on Twitch. Do we have the answer? Probably not, but like, why not go out and poke and prod and try different things that you think are entertaining, like sometimes I watch my VOD and I'm like, wow, to me, this sucks. Like, this is boring. Let me change it. Let me add some things to it. And let me, because I do that a lot. There are some great streamers out there that do a whole lot of different things, You don't have to be that streamer. You don't have to be this streamer. You can be yourself, but like, how do you make the best of yourself? How do you make yourself the best you can be on Twitch? That's what you have to figure out. You are who you are. You're not Dr. Disrespect. You're not so-and-so. You are you, but like, try and change it up, try and make yourself, look or do or whatever that's, makes you the best you, it doesn't have to be, totally different, but like, try and just improve yourself like every day, improve your stream every day. What that entails is really up to you. But I look at my VODs, if I think they're boring, which lately, in my opinion, they have been, I've been just changing all kinds of stuff. Like, I'm not afraid to change it up, just try new stuff,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sacrifice is kind of what I was talking about there too. People are too scared to lose what they've already created, or I mean, whatever, even if it's not that much. You get attached to what you've already created, and it's hard to hit that reset button or to pivot in a wholly different way when it might be what you need to do. But Sadomi, thanks for that, dude. Any other questions or thoughts there or anything?
No, I'm gonna leave it off to you because I'm sure you got one of our caller, another question you want to hit before you head off. So anyway, had to make my next appearance on Stream Key. So I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. All right. So we have our repeat caller in the Discord. It's Crazy Eyes. I don't know. I want to get to the text questions though. So Crazy, I appreciate you calling in, but we did already talk to you, and we have a lot of questions. We have about 15 minutes left, so let's try and get to some of these first, and if we have time, we'll jump back to the call. So we'll see. The next question came from Twitter as well, from Sparky. Said, it's been 2 months since I became a Twitch affiliate. It comes easy for some, but I had to work really hard for it. But recently, my viewers have become non-existent, and I don't know why. Any advice? And Vel, he tagged you in this one specifically.
Yeah.
So do you want to kick this one off?
Okay, yeah. I think okay, so the phrasing of other people have it easy or anything along those lines comes across as not great to me, because it seems like it makes it look like you're working harder than other people, which, it could have taken months. It could have taken, however long, but there's so many people on Twitch that really, really, really grind to even get those small things, like just to get to affiliate or just to even get to 1 or 2 viewers. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't take away anybody else's work for that. And I know it's just a generalization, and there are people who get it in, a month or less or whatever, and good for them. You know what I mean? But that's not the question. I'm sorry. But when it comes to like losing viewers, it's just something that happens, man. And especially right now, like, I've taken a hit in viewers. I know a lot of people who have taken a hit in viewership right now. It's part of the season. And part of it definitely is your content. You know what I mean? Like, when you do see that, you can't just take it as, oh, like, that's nothing. Like, I'll just not pay attention to it or whatever. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be too complacent with your content. So it is time to start stepping something up. It is time to, upgrade your stream, upgrade yourself, work on how you just handle yourself as a streamer on your channel, because that's not something to just be taken lightly. It is something that happens, but it's something that you also should learn and grow from. So it is time to, start exploring things. It is time to start, stepping your game up, because if you did lose viewers, it's not 100% just because of the season. It's because of your complacency. It's because of something that you're doing. And as crappy as that is, and as much as you're going to sulk on that, like, I'm going through this right now where I'm just trying to figure out, what's going on. And there's so many variables, and it's just analyzing yourself and just stepping it up and just, working on that top tier content that you want to make.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned, like, it's not everything, but it's not nothing either. It's that balance between that, for sure. Don, you have thoughts?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this one actually. I literally just went through this mindset like last week where I was like, yo, my views are down, or I'm not seeing my regulars anymore. What's going on? I got really, I wouldn't say depressed, because like outside Twitch, I was good, but it's just kind of like, I look at it from a business standpoint. And I was like, yo, what's going on? What can I change? Why am I? And I lost a lot of motivation. I really did. You can ask Vel. I talked to Vel a lot about this, and a lot of my other stream friends, like, what's going on, or is this normal or whatnot? So a lot of the answers were like, it's a time of the season, it's this year, I don't know why it's like this. Maybe mixers going up and all this good stuff. But me personally, how I handled it was I just took a step back and I was like, yo, like, why am I doing this, right? Like, I didn't look towards like long term anymore. I wasn't like, yo, I want to be partnered, I want to be super famous, super rich. Let's focus on the near future. Like, what can I do? So it was more like, yo, I want to do this to have fun. First of all, if you're not streaming to have fun, you're kind of messing up, honestly. And then second of all, it's like, screw the numbers, right? Everyone right now, if you're not hiding your numbers, you really should be, because it kind of affects your mental, as much as you would like to deny, it really does. But I started to, I've been hiding it, but then when I went through this, I did the opposite. I was like, let me see my numbers. I don't care if they're low, just hit me in the face with it. I want to see it, So honestly, if you're facing low numbers, step back, kind of reanalyze yourself. Why are you doing this? You want to have fun? Just have fun. Screw the numbers. A lot of my regulars, they're gone. But one thing you learn about Twitch is consistently inconsistent. You can't expect everyone on Twitch to be there for you all the time, every single day. That's just unrealistic, So as much as you like them to be, they won't be. You just gotta just keep on growing, keep on building, build, grow. Whether it's fast or slow, just keep on doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some good points there for sure. The why behind your stream is one thing I talk about a lot too, like the purpose of what you're doing it for. And that's something that you have to kind of reevaluate every once in a while, because it'll change based on the day you started streaming versus 6 months to 2 years down the road. And that should drive everything you do, though, because whether it's for fun or if you have some other sort of big goals with your stream, that impacts what you do on the stream each day. MPI, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of what both of you guys said is really spot on. Don, like you said, it's streaming is consistently inconsistent is spot on. People get busy. People, sometimes they have to work late and they can't make it to the stream because they had to work over. Sometimes people just don't want to watch Twitch that day. They want to watch Netflix. They want to watch YouTube. There's million content. There's so much content released like every second of every day that not everyone can always watch you constantly as much as we wish they could. There's other content out there, and that's fine. It's the same thing as like a musician. People listen to multiple bands. They don't just listen to one band. But when that new band drops a new album, they're going to listen to it more. If you come out with something new, they may come out more. Or whenever you're first streaming and you're like, man, I'm right there at affiliate, they're going to be like, great, let me help you get affiliate. Like, I like you. I want to help you get there. But people are going to be in and out all the time. It happens. And like you said, taking that time for self-reflection and looking at it, and Eden in chat said it, is good. That's a really good thing. If you're looking at it and going, why am I doing this? Or what do I like? What do I not like? You're looking at it analytically and thinking, how can I do better? What can we do to make this a better experience for both me and my viewers? Versus looking at it going, nobody's watching, I just give up. There's nothing I can do. And I think that's a really good thing. If you're looking at it and going, why is this happening and how can I fix it? You're doing the right thing. And it is partially, sometimes the season can affect it. I noticed the biggest hit that I ever took was during the summer. Summer months are awful. People are going on vacation. Kids are getting out of school, so everybody's going to, Disneyland or whatever. And you can try to blame it on just that, but like Vel said, it's partially the season can have effect on it, and it's also, what do you need to do to step up now? It can be your content. What games are you playing? Are you always playing the same game? Is that game not bringing anybody in? Do you like other video games? You probably do. Play another video game. Like, we talk about it a lot of Fortnite is so saturated and people are always like, that's your quick buck. I got to stream Fortnite. And then you stop streaming and you go play Mario Kart in your living room and then, well, why don't you stream Mario Kart? People like Mario Kart. You know, so you got to change it up sometimes. If it's not working, look at what's not working and try something new. If the game doesn't help, maybe you don't have the best audio setup and people can't hear you when they come in. Maybe you need to tweak some settings in OBS. Look at everything that you can and see where you can improve. It doesn't have to be new equipment. It doesn't have to be, new games. It can be games you already own. I've been going back and playing old games that I missed out on. And people love that because you're coming in and say you're playing a Zelda game for the first time ever that came out on the Wii. People loved that game, and now they're seeing someone who's played it for the first time, and they're gonna see your actual expressions the first time something happens. People love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So definitely look around, try other things.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that it's good that you realize you should change something up too. It's better to do that than to keep doing the same thing and expect something to change if it's not working.
Yeah,
Sure.
what is it, like the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again, or something like that?
There's a couple things I would say to this. First of all, if you're talking like 3 viewers, because if let's assume you just got affiliate with a 3 average viewer requirement, and those 3 viewers don't show up, like we're talking 3 people here. Don't freak out if 3 people aren't coming to your stream. That's a very small number, and they could just be, maybe one person's working extra this week or something, or the other person's on a vacation. It could be anything. So doesn't necessarily mean it's you, but like Vel said, it doesn't mean you should just ignore it. You should still take a chance to look at what you can do better. And I would say, especially in this situation, look at what you're doing to foster community, especially for those first few people. One thing we've said on this show before is like treating your viewers like gold, especially the first few viewers, because it all builds off of those people. So do you have a Discord? Do you have ways for those people to get plugged in? Like maybe you want to make one of them a mod or something, or give them VIP or involve them in your content. What are you doing to make sure that they're going to stick around and want to stick around for you and not just be there to help you get affiliate and leave? Like, yeah, at the end of the day, you have to be followable and make people want to stick around and be a part of what you're doing. So it's all about giving back to those people and making them feel valued in the community, because then they will stick around. So Discord is really great for that too, especially if they're like founding members, and there's the founder badges now, stuff like that. There's a lot of cool ways to commemorate people who are getting started with you. So that's what I would say.
And one thing that I've kind of always said, and this goes along with it, with streaming being consistently inconsistent, is I think that streaming, especially if you're trying to grow and create a community, is sort of like sales. You're selling yourself to these people, and you have to make that connection. If you work in sales, you don't just walk up to somebody and be like, you want to buy that car? You're going to buy that car. You have to make some rapport with them and create a connection with them quickly, and then they will want to come back to you. And some days you're going to have 400 people come in and say, I want to make a new friend today. Some days you're going to have one person stop by. It happens. But just always be there to make that connection with someone. And if you get one person that comes in and you say, hey, I'm going to connect with you, or 10 people that come in, it happens. It's hard to, you can't take everything on yourself, but you can't take everything on the numbers either. If that makes sense.
Yes.
There's a lot of factors that go into this. You could be technically doing every single thing right, but it's a slow day on Twitch. It happens.
There's so many moving parts that you can't isolate it to any one thing.
Exactly.
But I think at the end of the day, like what Vel said is best. It's not everything, but it's not nothing. Take the time to kind of evaluate yourself and see what you can do better, but don't feel like you're not good for anything or you've lost all your progress at this point. So, cool. I think that's going to be our last question for today, guys. We have the giveaway starting in like 5 minutes. So I want to go ahead and wrap things up for the stream key so we can jump into that. So real quickly, we'll do some sign off stuff here. MPI, where can people find you and what should they know about your stuff?
Yeah. So you can find me on twitch.tv/Mr. Pure Instinct or Mr. Pure Instinct on all of the other platforms as well. We stream a variety of games. In the mornings, we stream some multiplayer stuff like Destiny. In the afternoons, we stream whatever story-based game we're playing at the time. It can vary depending on what game I finished and what we want to start next. But if we have a story that we can all come together and experience, we're going to do it. Other than that, too, on this channel on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now we moved the time. I host the True Talk podcast, another one of the podcasts in the TRUgaming community. So if you want to get to know some True affiliates that are in the community, play some trivia games with us, or just talk about whatever weird thing I find on the internet that week, stop on by.
Awesome. Don, your little sign off blurb as well there.
Yeah, you can find me at DonTranX on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. Although I'm probably only active on Twitch because I'm really bad at social media. I stream FPS games, just chatting, and that's about it.
Awesome. Guys, links will be in the description as always if you're an audio listener. Last but not least is Veli. Go ahead.
So you can find me at Velok_TV on Twitch. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys are interested in Call of Duty, I've been absolutely dumping on kids and doing some friendly trash talking in the process. Very friendly trash talking, not that negative BS. But yeah, so Velok_TV on Twitch, and come get your deck built.
I saw that clip when I died, man. Oh my gosh. Guys, this has been Stream Key. We do this every single week. Next episode will be on Monday the 18th. And please come out for that one because it's going to be a special episode. There's some stuff happening, so you want to be there for that one. Again, this is on everything. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, Google, Twitch. You can find us by searching Stream Key or Twitch usually. And this will go out tomorrow. It goes out every Tuesday generally, but it's a day behind this week. Stick around. We're going to do the giveaway in about 5 minutes here. I'm going to change the scene a little bit and then we'll pull it. But until next week, Vel,
blaze up.
You can do the claps, guys.
Blaze up.
Nobody did the,
That was the thing?
We're never doing the claps
Blaze
again.
up.
Forget it.
Blaze up, yeah.
Clap every week.
It's too late.
Blaze up.
We'll be back.